Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Daryl Show. Woo! Hey, listen, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm about 3 minutes late. I had a little snafu on the introduction. So if you got the first one, I apologize. The second one is here. This is live. We're ready to go. I got my guest in the back. She's ready. I'm ready. If you happen to catch a little bit of noise in the background, it's okay. It's gonna get cleaned up later on. We're talking about this specific thing, and I know she's been on pins and needles and on edge all day. So without further ado, I'm gonna bring in the homie, my friend, Miss Ashlee Dollar. Oh,
Needles on
I'm
edge.
sorry. Let me unmute you. How you doing, Ashley?
It was the on pins and needles and on edge for me, but thank you for having me on your show,
You're
Daryl.
welcome. You are welcome. How are you doing
I'm
today?
excited to be here. I'm excited. This is
Why?
exciting. Thank you.
Why? Listen, you family. So, you ain't gotta
Well,
be
but I'm
nervous.
excited for the exposure for our school and to talk more about autism, and so I'm grateful. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, I forgot to give you I had to give you your hand claps.
Thank you. Yes, let's give a little bow.
So, Miss Dollar, how are you? So you
I'm
doing it
well.
again. You doing it again. You just
Leave me alone.
how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing well. We're starting our fall break. Praise the Lord.
Really? So, and
Yes.
fall break is how long?
Fall break is 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So it's essentially the first 2 weeks of October. So our last day of school was this past Thursday,
Uh-huh.
and then we have 2 weeks.
So how many days a week do you guys go to school?
4 days a week.
4 days a week.
So our school, Dare to Be Academy, meets Monday through Thursday from 9 to 3.
9 to 3. Okay. So
Mhm.
you've already said the name of your school, so I'm going to I'm gonna go right into it. So your name is Dare to Be Academy. The name of your school is Dare to Be Academy. So tell
Yes.
me, how is it that you came about with the concept, with the idea, with the framework, with the vision of having a micro school?
Oh my gosh. That was like 3 hours
you
of
you got you got time. You got
questions
time. There's
there.
no rush here. You got time.
Okay. Um, Okay, so let me rewind. And I'm going to give you just a little bit of my background
Okay.
and then uh, how my school came to be and all of that.
Okay.
So my name is Ashlee Dollar. I am um, a career educator.
Hmm.
I primarily taught music. I've also taught English, and I've taught grades K to 12 um, from about 2014. And um, autism, special needs, education was never on my radar. It's not that we weren't trained to be able to recognize certain certain challenges or disabilities or just children that need extra support. We were definitely trained for that in school, just studying education, not even the subject matter, but just how the pedagogy, how to teach, right?
Uh-huh.
So we were trained for that, but still, it was never in the forefront of my mind. Fast forward to 2021 is started my own journey as an autism mom. I'm an
Hmm.
autism mom. I have two amazing kiddos, both of which are on the autism spectrum.
Hmm.
And so that's where it became real for me, right? Because it became my story.
Hmm.
So even then, I wasn't thinking, I'm going to start a school. It was just kind of figuring out how to navigate autism, getting them the support and services that they need, all the
Hmm.
diagnoses, all the tests, all the evaluations, all the things, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So um, fast forward to this was last October. I'm sort of giving you the abridged version, but this is last October. And at the time, my children were attending a school for special needs kiddos, which was great for them and such a blessing when we started.
Hmm.
However, it was a great fit for us until it was no longer a great fit for us.
Okay.
That being said, I knew that I needed to do something to where my children were being educated in an environment that I approved of, right? Um, that had the transparency from the teachers that I desired as a parent,
Right.
that had um, that had just the flexibility that they need as ASD kiddos. That just it was the model that I wanted for my kids. And so it was in that moment. It was one day where I was receiving my children from their van that would take them to and from school, and I was thinking like how I need to find something different. I need something better. What can I do?
Okay.
Right. And I believe, not I believe, I know it was the Holy Spirit that gave me an inkling, and it just said, just start your own school.
Right.
And it was just like that, how I kind of shrugged my shoulders, like, duh. Like that's exactly how I heard it. It wasn't
Okay.
like start your own, it was just like, just start your own school. You're a career educator,
Hmm.
college trained, all that stuff. You have the experience, and you're an autism mom. Like,
Hmm.
who better than you? Who would
Right.
understand the parents better than you?
Right.
Who could advocate for these kids better than you? Being an educator. So, looking at it from a professional perspective and from a personal perspective.
Hmm.
And so that started the journey to like, okay, I'm going to do this. And so I talked to my sister about it. We fasted and prayed over it over the weekend to see
Hmm.
if, this was confirmed by the Lord. And it was. And I got busy. I got
Hit the
busy
ground running.
starting the LLC, registering the business. Yep, all that stuff.
Okay.
All this while still maintaining my full time teaching position.
Okay.
Um, and so at the school that I was at previously. And we did a soft launch in January of 2025.
Hmm.
And now, fall of 2025, we are in full school mode. We're a small school,
Hmm.
but that is the point. So that it is small, it is not super overstimulating, and that all of the kiddos get the support that they need. Right now, we're about a 2-to-1 student teacher ratio.
Right.
I have instructional assistants, and so we want that.
Right.
What would make us different than a school that offered sped services if we had like 30 kids to one teacher?
Right.
That's not conducive to their learning. They won't get that individualized support. It'll be overstimulating for them. It'll be
Hmm.
overwhelming and overstimulating for the teachers. We don't want that, right?
Hmm.
So we want to create a space where everyone can thrive, the learners and our teachers and support staff.
Really. Congratulations. Again, when so full stop. I first met Ashlee earlier in 2025. Now, Ashlee and I have never seen each other in person. I met Ashlee online on Facebook. She's in the singles group that I'm in. But Ashlee is all the way across the world in Arizona. And I'm over here in North Carolina at Summer Coast Studios. But I approached Ashlee about teaching me piano. And so I reached out to her, and so she started teaching me piano online. I had to take a little break when Summer Coast Studios had to transfer. So, but now that we're back, it's time to get beat up by my piano teacher again. But
Yeah,
we,
over here.
and also, and I made history with Ashlee because I'm Ashlee's first online student. So shout out to me. I'm gonna give myself, and I'm a faithful student too. I practice the stuff that I'm supposed to do. Them, but
Indeed, you do well.
uh, but coming from, so you're originally from Miami and you ended up in Arizona. How did that transition go from? How did you go from Miami to Arizona? And then you already told us the history of the school. The next thing I'd like
Yeah.
to know is, well, we'd like to know is the differences, and could you have done this in Miami versus where you are in Arizona?
So, okay, so there were some other places that I lived before Arizona. So I'll give you like a map,
Okay.
right? Born and raised in Miami, um, graduated from high school there. I did undergrad in Tennessee. And then right after I graduated from undergrad, I went to grad school, and that was in Michigan. Did that for
Okay.
2 years, and then my very first teaching position was in Portland, Oregon. So
Whoa.
moved out to Oregon, was
Okay.
there for 2 years. Um, Not to get super personal, but I mean, life is life, right? So I met my ex-husband there.
Mhm.
Had my babies over there. And then we moved to Georgia
Mhm.
we had a little stint in Georgia. Um, and then after things didn't work out, then um, my children and I moved to Arizona just for a fresh start, just to be somewhere different. And so I believe the Lord wanted us here.
Mhm.
Time I had my sister that lived here in Arizona, so it was nice to be able to transition with her. We moved here right before the 2020 shutdowns, the lockdowns.
Okay.
So we moved here in February, and I think the lockdowns happened in March. So that
March.
was a
Yep.
key time.
Yep.
That was a key time.
Yep. It was. I went on my first cruise in February, and then a month
Oh,
later, COVID.
that was yeah, it was a weird
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
Um, so so all of that to say, could it have happened there? I mean, yes.
Mhm.
So yes, it could have happened there because I've met people at conferences and things like that that have micro schools all over the United States,
Mhm.
right? What we have here, something that I guess it's a little we have less challenges when starting a micro school
Mhm.
um, because there aren't as many restrictions with micro schooling and things like that here, which is good.
Mhm.
Um, So I don't, even though like I'm a educator certified, all of that stuff, I don't need a license to do it. So it's been nice to just kind of like get things off the ground and running. But yeah, there's people in South Florida who do it. They might need like different type of seed money maybe
Mhm.
to start. I know that here we have the ESA program. So
Mhm.
that stands for Empowerment Scholarship Account. And what is it is not school vouchers. Let me say that another again for the folks in the back, it
Mhm.
is not school vouchers. I know there's a lot of controversy around school vouchers and things like that. That's not what it is. Okay, essentially what it does, because schools vouchers are illegal, so I just
Okay.
want to put that out there. That's not what it is. um, the ESA program is a state run program where essentially the money that will be used to support and serve students in
Mhm.
a public school, if you apply for ESA, those funds are then reallocated to something called class wallet. So it's like a digital wallet where parents, they are not pocketing this money, but they have approved vendors for class wallet and ESA where you can use that to, if you, let's say you're homeschooling your child, you can use that money to pay for curriculum
Mhm.
to homeschool said child. For special needs students or whoever else, you can use that money to, let's say, pay for therapies. You can use that money to just pay for private school or micro school tuition. So it's a great program. We're so blessed to have it here, and I believe that's one of the ways I was able to, I guess, launch
Mhm.
so quickly.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah,
So
that's one that made it that made it easier. Not that it's easy to do it, but it made it easier.
Mhm.
I don't know that other states. I know other states are kind of getting on the bandwagon as it pertains to ESA funds and kind of reallocating those either public school funds or charter school funds and allowing parents to use it to pay for private school or to pay for a special needs school or
right.
to pay for a micro school or whatever it is. So
Okay.
really blessed for that.
So what's the difference in like a micro school and like a private school and a Montessori and like possibly even a charter school?
Okay, so these are good questions. Okay, so um, a charter school is essentially a public school that you can sort of run like a private school.
Mhm.
It still uses public funding, but you're able to tailor it more like you would a private school, right?
It's more of a
And then a
lottery
private
system.
school, just say it again.
I say it's more of a lottery system also because you had to get selected to go to a charter school, right?
No,
Oh, you don't? Oh, I thought you had to be
so
selected.
no.
Okay.
Maybe I don't know about other states, but I've worked at public charter schools,
Okay. Okay.
and I mean, there's a cap on enrollment, and
Hmm.
so, but it is a tuition free charter school, and so it's a first come first serve situation. You just sign your kid up, and like you
Gotcha.
would any other school.
Okay.
hmm Um, and so, okay, so you said charter. So Montessori, I don't. I know the concept of Montessori. I'm not super familiar with the the model like day in and day out, but my understanding is that Montessori is like really hands-on, self-led learning.
Hmm.
A lot of it is play-based for younger kiddos, which we do incorporate some Montessori, um, I guess, ideals here, and I can get into that later when I talk about our day-to-day. A private school is it's a private institution. It's typically, you know, you have to pay tuition to attend.
Hmm.
And then that school, you know, they don't have certain restrictions. So let's say a private school, like it can't be a religious, I'm sorry, a public school, it can't be a religious public school,
Right.
right?
Right.
But if you have a private school, it can be a Christian school. It can be um, a, a school that their their core tenant values are that of the Islamic faith or
Right.
Jewish, or um, it can be, you know, based as like it's an outdoor learning school or like a no tech school or whatever it is. They're able to kind of do whatever they want essentially,
Right.
because they don't have like all these federal funds coming at them. And then a micro school is a private school essentially, but the reason why it's a micro is because it is typically classified as um, a school. It's small. It's
Hmm.
small in number in terms of students. It can be anywhere from like 5 to 20 kids, but then there are micro schools that have 50 kids. There are micro schools that deem themselves a micro school, but they have 200 kids. You know,
Right.
so I'm like,
Right.
it varies, but the idea is that it is a small student population,
Hmm.
and so my idea of it being like 5 to 20 kids, that to me is a micro school. Very small student population. You have a small student to teacher ratio, and I mean it essentially it's a private school. It's an independent school.
Hmm.
But
So
micro just it's just small in number in terms of students.
currently, you guys have how many students?
So we started off the year with 5,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna cap at 8.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll cap the year, we'll cap the student population at 8 because again, we're small on purpose.
Right.
We're small on purpose. Um, Having a classroom of like 30 kids, even if there's, you know, 2 or 3 adults, that's still it's not as individualized as I would want it to be.
Right.
So essentially, what I did is create um, the learning environment that I would want for my children,
Hmm.
and then offer that to parents and families for whom it'll also benefit.
Okay. So from inception, from vision to inception to having the doors open, like I know that this is like you said private, so it takes hard earned money to be to be done.
Well, yes.
Was it was it hard trying to secure funding? I know the state of Arizona has certain funds allocated, but even just
hmm
trying to market and sell the school to people, provide lunch and things like this, like the day to day operation and logistics of what you do. Let's talk about that and how it can, like, it helps, but at the same time, you're like, we can do this a little bit better. Because this is another question. The next question I want to get to that's gonna tie to this one.
So, can you expound on that for me a little bit? You want to know?
Like,
Say it again.
okay, so I remember when you posted earlier, I want to say this year, how you acquired computers for your school. So all of
Mhm.
these things. So you guys operate on donations and tuition, or how do you guys operate what I'm saying, to keep the doors open and the lights
Yeah.
on?
Okay. I see what you're saying. To be honest, the seed money to first launch the school with all of the stuff was my own.
Hmm.
And so essentially um, the school got a grant from me, right? From Ashlee Dollar.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was to start it and launch it. And, I mean, I know that that can be frowned upon by some people, like, don't use your own money, use this. And I'm like, well, I mean, we needed to launch and I did what I had to do.
Right.
And, um, and I'm happy to have done that. Like, it's an investment.
Right.
It is. It's an investment, and I'm betting on myself,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm betting on what I know the Holy Spirit told me to do.
Right.
So I'm trusting it in that way, right? I'm trusting the process. All that being said, I can't really take donations because we're an LLC. And there's a
Ah.
difference between LLC and like nonprofit.
Right.
Um, but um, I have gotten some grants and things like that. I did a fellowship where I was able to get a large chunk of grant money,
Mm-hmm.
so I could buy like a lot of our resources and supplies and curriculum, even the
Right.
computers and things like that.
Right.
So yeah, so that's how we were able to kind of like start with all of the materials and resources that we have.
Mm-hmm.
The way we run day to day is through student tuition,
Mm-hmm.
through ESA. So Dare to Be Academy is an approved ESA vendor,
Mm-hmm.
not Ashlee Dollar. The academy, the
Right.
business, is an approved ESA vendor,
Right.
and students pay the school um, with their ESA funds, and
Right.
then that goes and that runs the school. So what I offer here at our school, what is included in tuition is quarterly field trips, two snacks and lunch
Mm-hmm.
per day, as well as school supplies.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, students just have to come,
That's it.
just come,
And Miss
and
Dollar
then
and the staff take care of
take care
everything.
of the rest. And
Yeah.
so, right, and that is it is my goal and my prayer to keep it that way.
Right.
Um, things shift. Things shift with the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Things shift with funding and all of that. But it is my goal to keep it that way because what I want, again, is to offer parents and family what I would want as a parent. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times, families, everyone just, there's so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much going on without schools reaching out to you and, well, we need this, we pay for this field trip, and we need the supplies, and we need the, and it's not that there's anything wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, teachers, we know they go into their own pockets and they're paying for things for students. And so I'm not you know kind of ragging on schools or teachers that need to do that. But
Right.
what I'm saying is that I wanted to kind of alleviate that added um
Stress.
that added stress or that added like chore
Yeah.
of it's something else,
Right. Right.
having to make their lunch every night, and it's just this a lot. And
Right.
so I wanted to, my heart goes out to these parents because again, we are a school primarily for um, students, neurodivergent learners.
Mm-hmm.
So mostly autism, also ADHD, can be dyslexia, dysgraphia. There's a large neurodivergent
Right.
umbrella,
Right.
neurodiverse umbrella. We do take kids that are neurotypical or kids that are just kind of behind
Mm-hmm.
and they need additional support. So, um, so yeah, so we're inclusive here,
Okay.
but we are a school that is tailored to the neurodiverse learner.
Okay.
And so, again, parents may have other challenges with that. Like it's it's very colorful to be the parent of neurodiverse kiddos.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I could help alleviate some of that, I want to. They know their kids are coming to a safe environment. They know that everyone here is fingerprinted. There's a certified educator on staff. Like I've gone to all the colleges and have all the degrees and all the things and
Right.
all the experience. I have two instructional assistants. They love kids. One was a para, a special needs, a SPED para for I think 4 years, 4 or 5 years. The other is a retired social worker. And
Okay.
so I'm really seeking to, cultivate a team that really can support these kids and support the families as well.
Right.
I want them to just be confident that I'm dropping off my kids and like everything is taken care of. Snacks, food, when field trip time comes around, it's already paid for, it's in tuition. You don't have to worry about supplies. We have everything here. So it is the goal to maintain it that way. And the way we are able to do this is through tuition. I mean, you pay tuition like you would any other private school.
Okay. So that leads into my next question. So as you already said, the world is crazy. You and I had a conversation earlier. And I told you a lot of stuff I wasn't going to ask until we got to the show tonight. So speaking of world being crazy, we're going to focus on the United States. Back in 1979, we had this special department that was created by a great president that we had that many people didn't like, called the Department of Education. And so now, with the current administration and everything is happening, how, like, you say that you guys operate off of tuition and things like that, but is there any way, or are there any ways that you guys could possibly receive grants from the federal government or the Department of Education that would help you as well?
Yes. I had, just in all transparency, I actually did apply for some federal grants.
Hmm.
Um, just having it be it, I think the one we applied for was specifically for um, small business, special education, things like that.
Hmm.
However, and we're just gonna, what's your tagline? Real talk or
We're
talk with
talking with
common
some
sense?
sense. We're talking with some
Talk
sense.
with some sense. I'm just gonna be honest. With the attack on things like even just DEI,
Hmm.
you have to be so careful with how you word things because then you'll get denied
Yeah.
because you mentioned the word disability or
Hmm.
black or woman
Right.
or and
Right.
I just want to say for your listeners what DEI is and isn't. Can I just really quick, not to
Go
get
off.
political, but it I'm going somewhere with it.
Go off, sis.
DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Right.
What it is not is socialism for black people.
Well,
I think a lot of people hear DEI and that's what they hear.
right.
And that is not what it is.
Right.
Okay? Let me tell you what DEI includes. It includes people of color,
Right.
but it also includes women,
Yeah.
pregnant women,
Hmm.
veterans, disabled individuals.
Yeah.
It includes people of different orientations.
Right.
It includes people of different religions.
Right.
Okay? That is the diversity, equity, and inclusion. It is not socialism for black people. So
Okay.
that being said, the attack on DEI, it affects learners like mine.
Yep.
It affects the disability community.
Right.
And there's actually, I don't know that this doesn't have anything to do with the federal government, but there's been some very serious budget cuts to the Department of Developmental Disabilities here, so DDD.
Hmm.
So our state where individuals get supports and things like that for therapies so there's been a huge budget cut, and that's going to really really hurt a lot of families in the disabled community. So I don't want to say there's an attack, but it's an attack.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying? Like,
we call it straight down the middle over here, balls and
yeah,
strikes.
I forgot. There was a representative. He's a state legislator. Or some, or, I don't want to say that right. Um, I think his name is David Livingston. His last name is Livingston,
Hmm.
and he was proposing that they cut DDD by up to 50%.
Wow.
That's what he wanted. That's not exactly what they did. Governor Hobbs, was really trying to push back on that.
Right.
They were able to get some gap funding some months ago, and now they are having to make cuts just because. And I get it. If there's no money, there's no money.
Right.
But they find money for everything else. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, say it with your chest.
When it's time for a bank bailout, they
Yeah.
find the money.
Yeah.
When it's time for a war, they find the money.
Right.
They find the money,
Right.
but not
And
for the most vulnerable of our community, which
Right.
would be disabled children, other individuals, elderly people. They don't
Right.
find money for that, but that's neither here nor there. The point is that it does these things going on with this particular administration. It will affect neurodiverse learners or people with disabilities or individuals or whoever else. So
So the demographics in your area, like I'm sure if you wanted to, you can have 60 micro schools in your area if you really wanted to. Do you
mhm.
have a plan or vision to expand it at all in the future?
Yes. So let me give you an idea of where I am. So our school is located in Maricopa, Arizona. We are a suburb of um, Phoenix. So
Mhm,
we're in the greater Phoenix area. So just to give you an idea, Maricopa, we're about 35 minutes from the Phoenix airport.
mhm,
Okay. So we're not Phoenix, but we're in the greater Phoenix area. That said, Maricopa is a little bit of an island all on
mhm,
its own.
mhm,
So if this were Maricopa, this would be over here. Ooh, I'm not in frame. Casa Grande, and
mhm,
this over here would be Chandler. There we go,
mhm,
Chandler.
mhm,
In between that are two tribes.
mhm.
Okay, which means that we're kind of alone
Okay.
where we are.
Mhm,
So the two closest cities are, depending on are about 25 to 30 minutes away on either end. There's
mhm,
nothing in between that. Well, there's nothing. There's tribes in between that. There's Resland in between
mhm,
that.
mhm,
That being said, for parents who have children that have special needs or want an alternative for their kid that's not the district schools,
mhm,
would have to travel 30 minutes just to take their child to school. And so most people here, um, they will commute to Phoenix and things like that. But let's
mhm,
say, like, near their job, there's not
mhm,
a school,
mhm,
for their student, or the hours don't work. A lot of times it's that if you need to work 8 to 5, but the school is from 10 to 2, who, who's going to
mhm,
pick your child, or how are you going to make that work? And so, um, that was something that was a very real issue, is
mhm,
that we just didn't have anything that was local,
mhm.
that was an alternative. So we have our district schools and things like that, and they do the best they can,
Right. Right.
um, but the neurodiverse student population has exploded.
Mhm,
Okay, I'm going to give you just a quick stat and this is from autismspeaks.org. The autism population was about 1 in 500 in 1995. So that's 30 years ago.
mhm.
Now we're 1 in 31.
Wow.
It has exploded.
And this
Okay.
as for
And
the record,
so,
people, for the record, Tylenol had nothing to do with this. Okay.
oh, yeah, I'm not, yeah, I haven't
Yeah,
necessarily.
but our other people are talking about Tylenol is the
Mhm.
reason. That's another day, another subject for something else. But
Sure.
go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, and so for whatever reason, we're here. People can
Right.
talk about why, and I think it's important to talk about why you
Mhm,
want to take preventative measures and things like that.
mhm,
But I'm focusing on the here and now. Okay, these babies are here. What are we gonna do?
mhm.
They got to go to school,
Right.
and they can. And I let me say what autism is not. It does not mean that your child is not capable.
Right.
Children with autism, and it's a spectrum, and so there are varying. Um, I don't want to say there's varying levels, but it just varies. So
Right.
let's say, um, and just for funsies, I'm going to call it flavor, right?
Okay.
You'll have one student, and their flavor of autism includes being like obsessed with dinosaurs, but also not being able to handle any loud noises,
Right.
right? They're just super sensitive to sound.
Mhm,
And then you can have another kiddo that needs to spin around in circles to be able to regulate themselves.
mhm.
And also, they hate wearing socks because they
Right.
don't want anything on their feet. So
Mhm,
it's different. So, well, let me say what autism is. it is a social emotional disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, what it is not is mental retardation.
Right.
Okay. Or intellectual disability.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are there some kiddos with autism that have intellectual disability? Yes. But is um, that is a comorbidity, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Just like not all kids with autism have ADHD. Some of them do, but
Right.
that doesn't mean just because you have autism you're going to have ADHD or
Right.
vice versa, right? So
Right.
these are just like comorbidities. Um, so yes, it's a social emotion disorder. So someone with autism may struggle with these include but are not limited to social interactions,
Mm-hmm.
uh, really struggling with social cues, emotional regulation.
Mm-hmm.
They can struggle with a lot of sensory processing issues. So let's say like food textures, they may be very particular with food. They could be particular with, again, loud noises
Mm-hmm.
or a particular touch. Um, they can have developmental delays. So, like speech delays, we do have autistic kiddos that are nonverbal.
Right.
So they may not speak to communicate, but they may use like a device,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they could be, in fourth grade doing calculus,
Right.
and they can do that, right? But they're just not speaking.
Right.
So it's varies.
Mm-hmm.
They may do things to be able. We call it stimming. So
Mm-hmm.
stimming stems from stimulation,
Mm-hmm.
and so um, even I too am a neurodiverse person, friends. Sometimes I'll find myself like bouncing my knee,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that kind of helps to regulate my nervous system or things like that. So even things like that, spinning around in circles, or you find some of them may flap, or these are all just things that they're doing to regulate themselves. This is not anything anyone needs to be concerned about. It's just what they
Right.
do,
Right.
and that's okay.
Right.
Um, some are vocal stimmers. Um, like one of my kiddos is a hummer. My son hums all
Mm-hmm.
the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he'll just, be humming randomly at
Mm-hmm.
random times throughout the day. So yes, it's a social emotional disorder. It does not automatically mean that there's mental retardation or that there are intellectual disabilities. Can there be? Yes, but that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't automatically mean that that's what it is. And so my point for saying that is that autistic kiddos are very capable,
Right.
very capable.
Right.
Um, I'm going to give you an example, and I don't remember his name, but maybe you can look it up and put it in the show notes. But I read this article, and this was some months ago, and I, was tearing up. And I've heard other stories like this, but this one was really, really moving. So there's an individual in England, and growing up, he did not speak
Mm-hmm.
until he was 11. Until he was 11, he didn't
Mm-hmm.
speak.
Mm-hmm.
He did not learn to read or write until he was 18.
Wow.
And I wish I had his name. He did not learn to read or write until he was 18. But now at 37, I think this was probably a year ago, so he's probably 38. He has his PhD, and he's become the first and youngest Black professor at Cambridge University.
Wow.
First Black professor and then youngest,
I think
right?
I've heard that story before.
Yes,
Yeah.
incredible story. So I don't remember his name. And then seeing him speak, I know people would be like, "Well, he doesn't look autistic. Autism doesn't necessarily have a look." Some people say things and they just don't know.
Right.
I get it.
Right.
I understand. They just don't know. Um, a lot of autism can be invisible. We call them
Mm-hmm.
invisible disabilities. So people really struggle internally.
Mm-hmm.
That's why women are diagnosed much later,
Okay.
because women tend to internalize things.
Mm-hmm.
Girls will internalize things. And so, not all, but some of them will be diagnosed much later because of that, because it's not outward. It's an inward struggle and an invisible disability. But anyway, my point for sharing that story is that they are very, very capable. Some of our, greatest thinkers and minds were, thought to be on the autism spectrum. Like, they believe Einstein was on the autism spectrum. There are a number of classical composers,
Right.
Mozart, that
Right.
they thought were on the autism spectrum. They may have some social quirks and things like that. They
Right.
are a little different
Right.
when it comes to socialization. I know people personally who are on the autism spectrum who were prodigies in music. So they're so capable, and oftentimes they are really gifted in
Mhm.
certain areas. So,
So,
did I
and
answer the
so
question? I feel like I
you
started
go
rambling.
absolutely. You're doing fine. You ain't got to see. You see how nervous. See how relaxed you are. I told you it's gonna be fine. Which is it's good. You gotta put your hand back.
Yes,
You gotta put your hand back.
I'm flipping my invisible hair.
So
Yeah.
so you just mentioned what my next question was gonna be about. So you are a music teacher.
Yes.
How important or like how much do you incorporate music in what you do at Dare to Be?
So the goal
Okay.
is to incorporate that daily.
Mhm.
Um, I have not been able to achieve that just because I wear so many hats.
That's his name, Jason
Um,
Arday, the guy you were talking
yes,
about.
Dr. Dr. Jason.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna put some respect on his name, okay?
Right.
Um, but yeah, I would love to incorporate it daily.
Mhm.
I have not been able to do it daily just as of yet,
Mhm.
simply because I am the admin, I'm the primary educator, and that I'm doing all the planning. Um, I'm doing like all of the behind the scenes stuff, shopping, ordering, different various meetings I have to take. It's just a lot.
Mhm.
And so it's just a lot. So I think once and we just started the school year. Once we get into the groove, I do want to offer it more. We will offer it, but I do want to do it because I know how important music um, is for just people in general,
Right.
but also because I can.
Right.
Honestly, like
You're good at it. You're good at
we
teaching music.
wouldn't,
I can tell you that for sure.
we would. Thank you. I
Yeah.
should be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You
All the
teach me
student
online.
loans,
You hey. You're good at it. I give it to you. I can't
all the
take that away
student
from you.
loans, all the blood, sweat, and tears, all of the stress, undergrad, grad school, all the things. So
Okay.
thank you. I received that, but I
Okay.
put in work for sure. But
Okay.
I would like to incorporate that again because I can. Like,
Right.
it's not just, and this is not. I'm not. I don't want to brag on anybody that cannot offer the quality of music education that I can, but it would be more. Like, I would
Mhm.
love to do ukulele and different instruments and just explore various things. So once I'm able to maybe delegate some of those things,
Mhm.
once we grow a little bit, I would love to do it daily. That would be the goal.
Okay. So
The short answer is
what
it's very important to
is
incorporate
absolutely important.
it.
Because as you know, as a person who people might deem normal, I think everybody is normal, but like I know one thing for me, music is right up there. It's like number one, not number one. It's a close, it's close. It's top three in my life. So, and I
Mhm,
can understand how music regulates my mood. I can understand how music like calms me, centers me.
mhm.
And now I'm older, so I listen to the same music over and over again simply because that's just what I like. Yes, I like the
Same.
Cardi B's. I like everybody that's out today, but I love what I love. Like I'm a fan of 60s, 70s, and 80s music, especially soul, R&B, and things like that. But I understand that the music is goes on.
Mhm.
So how could like what advice would you have anybody who's interested in possibly starting a micro school in their area? And it doesn't necessarily have to be for special needs or children with
Sure.
autism and things like that. Like, what would you
Yeah.
suggest that people do to try to get started?
Um, So first, I would figure out, what it takes to establish yourself as a business,
Hmm.
registered with your state, with your LLC, um, or if you wanted to start as a nonprofit. I don't know. I know that here in Arizona, it's it's simple to kind of just register your business, right?
Mhm.
So that it's legal. I would start there, um, open a business bank account. And so I would just start there so that everything is set up legally. The next thing I would do is um, network as best you can. Go to conferences, find things that are local in your area.
Mhm.
So there was an Arizona Microschool Association that I just kind of found online, and I just started, you know, going to stuff.
Mhm.
And so I met some other microschool owners there. Um, I'll give a shout out to Andrew Lee
Mhm.
of Vita Schools. He's the CEO of Vita Schools. So he has a micro school, and then also Lydia, um, which is Learner Driven Education Alliance. And
Mhm.
so just really trying to, um, he tries to help other people launch and start micro schools while, you know, maintaining his own. And then also, how can we support these schools? How can we promote more learner driven education, right? So not teacher driven or not district driven. What is for the learner? And so that is my school. Like, we are learner driven. There are subjects that we absolutely have to do, but the idea is to make it palatable for them.
Mhm.
Because if a student is not interested in what they're learning, they're not going to retain the information. And a lot of times, um, I'm going to word this correctly. I don't want to, because I was a teacher in, you know, other private schools, was a teacher in public charter schools, and every teacher I've worked with has been worth their salt. They do their very best, but
Right.
because of the model, they're not able to accommodate students the way that they need. And so
Mhm.
when you have something like a micro school or independent schools or private schools, you're able to do that. You're able to do that better. So anyway, that's primarily what that is, Lydia, is to help schools launch them and to help support them, and really promote learner driven education. That being said, um, start your business and network. Go learn.
Go learn.
Go find micro schools in your area and go check them out. See how everybody's model is different. I'll shout out two of the micro schools that I visited. They're both in Peoria. One is, um,
Is that Illinois or Arizona?
I'm sorry.
Peoria. Is that Illinois or Arizona?
Oh, Arizona.
Okay.
Oh, I yes, there is a Peoria in Arizona. In Illinois. Yeah,
Right.
no, Peoria. So that's going to be Phoenix adjacent.
Gotcha.
I'm thinking of the name of the school. Oh, Hands to Teach is one of them.
Mhm.
Laura Morales, and her school is primarily for deaf children,
Mhm.
which is so beautiful. I was so moved by her. Now she's again inclusive. She takes neurodiverse kiddos and neurotypical kiddos, everybody, but the model is for deaf learners. Really beautiful story there. And so they have a school up in Peoria. Another one I went to was Integrative Learning Academy.
Mhm.
Um, her name is Rachel. I forgot her last name right now, but Rachel,
Okay.
she has a really awesome school. I think she's been doing that for about 7 years. Laura's been doing hers for about 5 years. And Integrative Learning Academy is they are inclusive, so about half of their kids are neurodiverse and half the kids are neurotypical. Um, and then there is also Discover You.
Mhm.
Desiree Contreras, if I say your name wrong. I'm
Okay.
sorry, girl, if you see this, but I wanted to shout you out.
And these are
She
all
has
people in Arizona, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
she has a school in Chandler, Arizona, and I don't think it's not necessarily for special needs or anything. It's a micro school for parents that want an alternative education experience for their kiddos.
Right.
She's doing really great things over there. Again, I mentioned Andrew Lee of Vita Schools of Innovation. His is a high school, and I believe they're accredited and everything. So there's some people doing some really amazing things. You don't hear about it a lot, but
Mhm.
there's some people really doing some amazing things. There's another school here in Maricopa, um, Field of Vision Academy.
Mhm.
That is Tara Gallagher, and she focuses primarily on. She's a literacy specialist,
Mm-hmm.
And so she focuses on basically 6 to 8 students, so middle school aged students, and catching them up,
Okay.
those that kind of fell behind and things like that. So she's doing really amazing things over there. So people are doing some amazing things, but that's what I would suggest. Start your business or do some research on how to do that. Or even you can do them simultaneously while you're figuring out how to start your business. Go start talking to people, find people, go to conferences as best you can. Look at content online.
Mm-hmm.
There's a wealth of knowledge out there that's free. Visit schools, find micro schools in your area. Go. Doesn't mean that their model is your model. You can look and see how it's done. Ask them questions. Hey, how did you start this, or how did you set up your budget, or whatever it is. Um, there are different organizations that are also kind of micro school focused, and they
Mm-hmm.
want to help and support micro schools. Vela is one of them, VELA.
Mm-hmm.
Empower Ed is the one. They want to support alternative education, things like that. So there's a wealth of knowledge out there. So
Okay.
network, start your business. You can do that simultaneously. Visit schools and pray.
And pray. Two. Okay. Two more questions. I'm gonna let you get up out of here because I know your babies are getting antsy waiting on you.
Oh,
What
they're
is
okay.
your what is
With
your
it's okay.
what is your 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year vision for Dare to Be?
What a cool question.
Girl, I do this. I do this. I told you.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm excited. That's
Okay.
a great question.
Okay. This is
Okay.
year one. This
So
is year one right here. So
yes. So
yeah.
year one, I want to cap out at 8.
Okay.
Um, and at the end of year one, I would not just that I want to see us in a different facility. We need to be in a different facility because I know it's going to expand, and we're just
Right.
going to need more space.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. 3 year, ooh, 3 year. Okay, so let me say this: we are an in-home micro school.
Right.
So essentially, my home and like living space is the learning area.
Mm-hmm.
That, and then like our backyard. Obviously, I have like playthings out there and all the stuff, and that is our learning space. And also the room that I'm in right now. This is, as you know, I have a music room where I teach private lessons. Aside from
Right.
the school, I just
Right.
do private lessons, on my spare time. But this is also our therapy room. So if a student has speech or OT or something, they can come in this room and they can do that, and kind of have, some quiet, if you will, or whatever they need for that service.
So the therapist comes
That
to your
being said,
house. The therapist comes to your
yeah,
location and service the students.
hmm
Oh, that's what's up.
absolutely.
Okay.
Or even like ABA therapy, they wouldn't necessarily need this room. ABA therapy, um, is stands for applied behavior analysis, and it,
Mm-hmm.
it helps the students with behaviors, regulating behaviors and things like that. And so they'll just be with them. um, they'll just be with them, and
Mm-hmm.
then if the student has a behavior or if they need redirection, then that's where they come in and they apply that behavior support. But that being said, I already see it expanding. I know it's going to expand because, again, I mean, I have a vision for my school, um, but this is God's project. You know what I'm saying? And so it's gonna be what he wants it to be.
Right.
I don't advertise my school as a Christian school.
Right.
Um, However, the values that we have here,
Mm-hmm.
um, it very much is my. I have very much so my faith in mind. So let me say, our core values is to be kind, be true,
Mm-hmm.
be curious, and be wise. Okay, those are the 4 things we instill. We have a pledge that we say every day, a dare to be pledge.
Mm-hmm.
And my learners are the dare to be luminaries
Okay.
because, our light bulb logo and all of that.
Okay.
Um, and so that is what we are teaching every single day. Kindness, number one. And we're already seeing vast improvements from all of our kiddos. Yes, there it is. Um, So to be kind, be true,
Mm-hmm.
be authentic, dare to be. The name is exactly what it means.
Mm-hmm.
And our tagline is um, dare to belong, dare to believe, dare to become. Right? So this is a
Mm-hmm.
place where they are seen, supported, and celebrated. They can come here and belong. If they have, a flavor of autism that causes them to need to stim physically, this is a safe space to do that here. We understand that's what they need to do. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to be stifled like it would be in another school, or no, we're very sensory friendly here.
Mm-hmm.
The learning environment is very conducive to the way that their brain functions and thrives.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is what it is. Like, dare to belong. Come here and dare to be somewhere where your differences are appreciated. Right? Dare to believe. Once you belong, then you can believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you believe in yourself, you can become whatever it is you want to be. And so we're here to support these kids. Um, we're here to support the families as well. I want to be able to expand and be a resource. I know I'm still in my 1, 3, and 5 year, but
It's all
I
good.
want
It's
to.
all good. You got time.
Um, but we're here to support the families as well. Um, so okay, so that's my did I say my 3 year?
Mm-hmm. That's
Oh,
three.
we're going to be expanding, right? So the idea is to expand to a larger space where we can accommodate more students while still maintaining a very small student to instructional aid teaching ratio.
Mm-hmm.
So the goal is not to, okay, we have 30 kids now, we still only have two. No, because
So
that defeats
you're
the
trying to
purpose
stay
of having
around
it.
the so you're trying to stay around the 2-to-1 type or
Yes, two to
okay.
one. And honestly, it'll depend on the needs of the students. Some
Mm-hmm.
some needs are different. Our school is for mild behavior support needs.
Mm-hmm.
So those that have more challenging behaviors, maybe physical aggression, things like that. This is not the school for them. There
Right.
are schools for those kiddos. This is for mild behavior support needs. But when it comes to academics and things like that, if they're really struggling, or even just emotional regulation, we're absolutely here for learners
Mm-hmm.
like that. That being said, each learner is going to have varying levels of support needs. And so if I end up having learners that have, low support needs,
Mm-hmm.
then we could be 3 to 1
Okay.
or even 4 to 1. It depends. But for the students that really need that individualized help, 2 to 1 is, yeah, and that's essentially what we have now, is 2 to 1 ratio. I would
Okay.
love to keep it that way if our budget allows for that, if grants, all the funding that we get, any patrons that want to support us, that is the goal,
Okay.
is to have these students have as much individualized support as possible. So that being said, expanding, whatever the Lord wants it to be. um, and then 5 year, I would love to see us have another location. I don't know. I guess that's more tenure, but who knows? I'm not going to put limits on
We
God.
talk about God. This could happen next week, so we don't know.
Hello,
Yeah, we don't
hello.
know.
So yeah, I would love to see us expand to another location.
Okay. Okay.
Um, I guess that'd be between 5 to 10 years, but it could be 5 years. Like, who knows? I would love to see that. I would love to see us have a. Um, I would love to see Dare to Be become a become an umbrella for other support services.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say we have Dare to Be Academy, but then you also have like Dare to Be, like their therapy services where we can offer like art therapy and music therapy and things like that. I
Mm-hmm.
would love to see like, an umbrella of like music lessons under Dare to Be Academy, or like dance or something. I would love to see it expand to encompass and offer more things. I would love to have a branch that kind of offers support services to families, and kind of like learning how to navigate DDD and getting support services for your kids, and just kind of helping them in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at some point, we'll be a nonprofit, and so that's what I see for our school. I would love to at some point, when we've expanded and have some more kiddos, be able to offer transportation services
Mm-hmm.
as well. I think that would help out families a lot too. And yeah, that's the goal. And
So,
so a lot of prayer going into this. For those that are watching this, um, if you are followers of Jesus, please keep our school lifted, our vision lifted, keep me, lifted, our other support workers, our families, and just that the name of God is glorified simply by being the hands and feet of Jesus in the community.
amen.
Um, you have a lot of people that will say Jesus, but aren't doing anything to help the least of these, right? They're
I'll bring
not
you
they're
back
not
for that
actively
episode.
reaching out to communities and say it again.
I said I'll bring you back for that episode.
Oh, please.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
bring you.
Matthew 25:40 is
Yeah.
basically like what our school is based on,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
The least of these.
Mhm.
That is what we are called to do as believers.
Mhm.
We are called to share the gospel to every nation, tribe, and tongue, and we're
Mhm.
called to minister and serve the least of these.
Amen.
And so, even if again, we're not advertised, we're not a Christian school or advertised as a Christian school.
Right.
That is my mission, is to be the hands and feet of Jesus in our community in this capacity
Amen.
by serving this particular demographic.
Okay.
So, yeah, for those that are prayer warriors, all the things, all the aunties, all the church mothers and, and church fathers and all the things, keep us lifted.
Everybody, put your hands on it, huh?
So yeah, the Lord's name is glorified in that. We're really helping and serving these really special families and really special kiddos.
Right. Well, actually, two more questions. Is there an age limit that you guys take?
Oh, it's a good question. Right now we're K-5,
Okay.
so yes, we're limited, but as my students grow, I'll just expand to
Okay.
grade levels
Okay.
as needed. So yeah, we will expand for sure.
All right. This is probably one of the last questions, little micro question. Since I know that you say that you cannot receive donations and things like that, how can people reach out to you? Like, do you have merch and things like that that people can purchase to help you advance what you're doing?
So the short answer is no, but
I see you got that
it is
fancy
on.
T-shirt on.
I, I sure do. There's a larger logo in the back with the phone number and all the things. Okay.
Okay.
Um, so the short answer is no, but the longer answer is that is the goal. Like I want to have merch and mugs and stickers and all the things. I would love it.
Right.
Um, so yes, I would love to do that. I think if people want to support, I would have them just reach out to me at
Okay.
daretobeacademy@gmail.com.
Okay.
Because I know that there is a way to receive donations and it still be legal, but
Mm-hmm.
just because we're an LLC right now, we're not non for profit,
Mm-hmm.
and so there is a way to do it. Um, Also, I mean, if I will at some point have a scholarship fund,
Mm-hmm.
if people wanted to donate in that way, and
Okay.
so that money will be for scholarships and not necessarily to like pay staff or anything. But I know that there's a way to do it. I'm still working on that, but I would love to have donors and people that support us, um, even if they are companies that have like grants and things like that I can apply for. Like I
Okay.
can apply for grants and receive funding in that way.
Okay.
Um, but I would love that. The short answer is I am working on that. The long answer is that we're gonna figure it out for those that want to support, because we would love that. I want to have people have an opportunity to support this very very special cause. Um, can I say like all my socials and handles
Go
so
right
people know how to
ahead.
get?
Go right ahead.
Okay, so email dare to be academy
Mm-hmm.
at gmail.com.
Is Dareto?
Yes,
Okay.
DareToAcademy, dare to be academy at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Go to our website, daretobeacademy.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can find us on Facebook at Dare to Be Academy LLC. We
Okay.
are on Instagram at Dare to Be AZ. Okay. You can find us on Instagram there, and so you can you'll be able to connect with me um, through any of those avenues.
Okay.
Please connect with me. I would love that.
Okay. So here's the thing. Okay. Now you and I spoke earlier, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I went back and I prayed for you. I said, and there's one thing that stuck out to me that you said earlier when you were like running around with your head chopped off about trying to look good on camera. I told you it was gonna work out just fine. But you said
That's how I
something to
do.
me that was very important. It's something that I was like, okay, God, this is the thing right here. You said that you haven't had, because I was joking with you about having more children. You said, I haven't had a full night's sleep in 10 years. That's what you said. That's what you said, right?
That's real. Yep.
Okay. So my prayer for you is that you would find rest in this, which I believe is your purpose, and even in your personal life when it comes to you being a mom, being a business owner, things like that. I went and I'm telling you, I talked to God about that earlier, and I said, I really want this for you simply because I think you deserve it. And just
Thank you.
to do a little
That is
vision
so
casting, don't take off the table that you're gaining all this knowledge and wisdom and things like that. You can also possibly in the future you could start consulting, because I really believe after this episode, I pray to God that it catapults you into a different dimension and you are
mhm.
able to start helping other people. Because, we had this conversation. Not many people understand and know that this can be done. And it's not just in
Yes.
Arizona, it can be done in
Yeah.
Georgia, Florida, New
Yes.
York,
There are micro
wherever.
schools everywhere.
Right.
Everywhere.
And so, with
People are
it
doing
just
amazing things everywhere.
right. And so the name micro, the title micro, don't let that, and for anybody who's watching, don't let that deter you. Micro is basically just specialized. That's how we're going to look at it. A specialized school.
Yep.
And that's, limited to only a certain amount of people. Other people have been doing it for decades. They have been doing it for years. But
Mhm.
I really believe Ashlee is doing it for the right reason, for the right purpose, and in the right time. Because I even thought about this like here in the last couple months. Like growing up, we didn't have as much, quote unquote autism and things like that. At least it wasn't labeled that way. Now what we see it almost everywhere. Like you said, the numbers are astounding. What from 1 in 500, you say to 1 in 31 or something like that
Yep. In 30 years. Yep.
in 30 years. And I'm 47. So that means from my 17th birthday up until now, it literally has exploded. We don't know the
Yeah.
reason. We have people that are, well, we do know the reason. Like Jesus said in the word, this is done so that God can get the glory. Nobody
Yes.
sinned or anything like that. This child, these people, these children are here so God can get the glory. They have purpose, they
Mhm.
have destiny.
Mhm.
And we've seen,
Yes.
like you said, brother Jason Arday, Dr. Arday, no matter what it
Mhm.
looks like, it takes committed people such as yourself to be committed, to not give up on these students because they're going to be, normal functioning members of society one day. We believe that
Mhm.
because we understand what God's word says that by his stripes, by the blood of Jesus, we are all already healed. So the work is done.
Mhm.
We just have to connect our faith with God's word, and we have to walk this thing out.
Yes.
With that being said, I just want to say, man, I really appreciate who you are. I appreciate your teaching. I appreciate you trolling people in those groups because I do the same thing. Because no, but seriously though, you're very smart. You're very smart, and you have great wisdom, great insight, things like that. And against all odds, you've made it to this point. And I just pray God will send you increase.
Yes.
I pray that your vision will come to pass, and it will come to pass in God's timing. Like you said, this isn't on you. This is something Holy Spirit gave you instructions for, and you're building it.
Yes.
Just the way Solomon built the temple. You're taking God's words and you're doing it exactly how
Okay.
He does it. And I want
Yeah.
don't
Come on,
don't get it
Solomon
don't get it twisted. Your boy be on it. Your boy,
Yeah.
your boy be on it. But no, seriously though, I'm proud to be your friend. I am glad that there are people like you that I consider in my circle. You may not be the 3, you may not be the 12. You're probably somewhere in the 5 to 15,000, but closer to the 12. You know what I'm saying? You inching up to the 3, but whatever. That's neither here nor there.
Thank you.
But I am godly proud of you, and I'm thankful that you, no matter where you started, is where you're going. And I thank you that you take care of your babies, and other people are trusting you to take care of their babies Monday through Thursday.
Yes.
That because that's
Yes.
big. That's big.
It's
People don't understand how
yeah.
big that is. You can't leave children, especially neurodivergent children, with everyone because people take advantage of people's children all the time.
No.
But I
Or
really
they don't
thank you.
understand or know how to help them. Mhm.
Right. I really appreciate what you do and people like yourself and to have the heart and the compassion to do this and to get up and do it every day. I want you to enjoy your 2-week break because you got to go again until well, I guess November. You get another break in November
Yeah.
for Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving break and then
Okay,
Christmas.
and then Christmas. Okay. I hope that your first year is great. And like you said, you don't really advertise, but I'll do what I can. I put your email and your website in the comments, and I'll edit this and I'll send you a copy. You can make reels, whatever the case may be. You know,
Yes,
but
please. That'd be great.
we're gonna work on the merch so that people could start buying
Yes.
and doing things like that. And I just want to say I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate you taking your time out to come spend time with the Daryl Show and talking with all the sense that
Homie.
you could talk with. Is there anything else you want to say to the people?
Um, no. I mean, I said it already. Just keep us in prayer. Um, uh, One thing I would like to say, this doesn't really have to do with school, I guess, but um, I just want to appeal to churches, church congregations out there, um, to look out for your special needs families. Um, Many of us feel kind of ostracized from some congregations just because there aren't accommodations for kiddos like ours.
Right.
Um, we attend a church now that has a great like children's program. They have a special needs room, and so they've ministered to us in a really beautiful way. But that's not it's not. I feel like that's available few and far between. So I would like to make an appeal to churches.
Okay.
Um, Look out for special needs families and have some accommodations for them. If you have a children's program, maybe it's not something that you can do, every week when your church gathers, but maybe once a quarter or something, have like, you know, autism day or special needs day or whatever it is, so that you can plan to have accommodations for them. Many families just stay home.
Right.
There was a long time where we just were home.
Mm-hmm.
My children couldn't handle being um, in just the regular service, and of course, a lot of us parents, we become really self-conscious, like we don't want to bother people and we don't want anybody, and so I would appeal to churches um, to look out for special needs families better, to serve them
Mm-hmm.
um, better, and to make accommodations so that we can very much so be a part of the body, under the same roof. We know
Right.
that the body is the people, but these two are children of God.
Right.
These parents are children of God. So I want to appeal to churches um, and I say this with love, please do better
Mhm.
in looking out for these families and serving them and having accommodations for the kids. And I'm sure the parents would love to partner with you. A lot of churches don't know what to do.
Right.
They're like, we don't know how to partner with the parents. I would love to do that. Some other churches, I would love to partner with them. And even if I'm the one that's like putting on the special event once a quarter or once a year or whatever it is, but just
Mhm.
just something for these families. So I would appeal to churches to do that. Um, for those that are listening and for those that will watch, please keep us lifted, keep our school lifted. We want these families and these kiddos to be served to the best of our ability, and through that, being the hands and feet of Jesus, giving God all of the glory. So please keep us in prayer, and churches do better.
Amen. Not just churches, but the
Just signing
world.
off.
The everybody really
Yes,
needs to do better when it comes to, but especially the church.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do, but because churches, we are to minister to the least of these. I don't
Mm-hmm.
expect people, and people that don't know Jesus do amazing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Ministering to
Mm-hmm.
the least of these. But I don't expect a lot from the world, but I
Right.
am appealing to churches because that is what the church is there for, to share the gospel, um, minister to least of these, to minister to people in crisis.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're there for.
Okay.
So
Well, ma'am, you wouldn't believe this. You wouldn't even believe how long you've been on. You've been on for a whole hour and 20 minutes almost.
I can believe it. I can be I can be a little yappy.
It's okay. It's okay. Everybody.
This is good. If I can, so the last thing I'll say is thank you so much for having me on your show. I know it's no thing, but I want you to know that I appreciate it. I want you to know that I appreciate you, um, having an interest in neurodiverse individuals and the education side of it. Even if that's something that doesn't necessarily affect your life, the fact that you had the heart to be like, you know what, I would love to learn more about this. I would love to spotlight this mission, on my show. So thank you so much. God
You're
bless
welcome.
you and your show.
Thank you.
Um, Blessings on the development of your show and all of the endeavors. And yeah, I just pray that people are blessed by this podcast. I'm blessed to be here. And so just thank you.
We're happy to have you. We appreciate you. Everybody, Miss Ashlee Dollar. I see y'all.
Bye, friends.
Hey, little Musty. My bad. I forgot. I was too busy trying to get up out of here because, I'm off to the next thing. Check this out. I forgot to tell you, I need for you to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you guys being here. Every time you see this chocolate man with these headphones and this doggone black glass, people know. Tell them to meet me every Sunday night, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on Facebook, YouTube, every streaming platform you can find. Please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate your support and I thank you. I'll catch you next time. All right? Peace.